What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another update on the VR4. A lot of you guys have been asking for more VR4 videos, and today we have one. If you're familiar with my YouTube videos, you know that my channel is full of tragedies. This one's no exception. I have a pretty bad story for you guys today. So, me and my girlfriend were heading home. She was driving the VR4, I was driving the Eclipse, I was right behind her. Exiting the highway, she was making a right turn, and the lane was entirely for herself. She had a solid white line on her left, so nobody was supposed to go into that lane. This guy that had just done a U-turn on the turnaround, and he tried to cross over 3 lanes immediately because he was trying to get to the gas station, and he just darted into the 3rd lane in a very dangerous way. There was not enough road length for him to have crossed 3 lanes that fast, but he did it anyway. And I'm sure he saw the VR4 right there, but he still tried to force my girlfriend to brake, but it was impossible. She braked as hard as she could. There was a moment where they were both on the same lane. My girlfriend moved as far right as she possibly could, and this guy was coming onto her lane, and she couldn't do anything else but besides move over to the right and brake, and this guy was still coming at her. So yeah, inevitably he hit her, and oh my god, just thinking about it pisses me off. He had already gotten out of the vehicle and had tried to blame my girlfriend for the accident, and I was like, what the hell are you doing, man? What are you doing? And then he was like, oh shit, somebody's with her. And then he calmed down because he was already trying to put the blame on her. He was like, I'm gonna call the cops. And then I said, go ahead, call him please. So he did, and I called them just to make sure that they were coming. They came over, they told us to make sure to take video so we have evidence for the insurance. We took some photos of the damage of both vehicles, and I took some videos. Let me show you guys.
Hablo para que me chocaron. Estoy aquí en la
As I was seeing it happen, I could not believe it was actually happening. I was like, is this guy actually gonna hit her? He has so much time to brake, to pull left again, to just stay on his fucking lane. Then I saw them hit, and I was like, are you serious? I literally saw my entire work on the VR4 flash before my eyes. Since part 1 of the build, I saw everything. You know how they say you see your life flash before your eyes? Well, in this case, right before the accident, I saw my car's life flash before my eyes. The entirety of all the work I've done to it. Damn it. So when I bought the VR4, there was already plans of me doing the 99 conversion. But at that time, I didn't have any parts. Parts were really expensive. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna do a 97, 98 conversion first, because I really loved the 98 look. I used to have a 98 SOHC, and I loved it, and so I liked that look more back then. But then I did the 98 conversion, and I kind of got bored. As I've said before, I knew this conversion was coming eventually, so I was just getting ready for it, and this accident was just, honestly, I believe the right time to go ahead and do it. Anyways, guys, let's get started because this is going to be a long video. We're going to be using this 1999 Mitsubishi 3000GT base model SOHC V6 front-wheel drive, because it is currently cheaper to buy an entire car than buying the 99 parts individually. It runs and drives excellent. It does, however, have a pretty bad hit on the driver's door that we will be addressing. I started off with the sail panels. One thing I absolutely hate about these cars is that when you want to work on something, you have to remove about 1,000 things before you can access whatever you need to access. For example, here when replacing the sail panels, I first needed to remove the seat belts to be able to remove the inside plastic trim pieces, held on by other interior trim pieces, and several clips and bolts. Today we are working here at Express Body Shop. The shop owner, Luis Marquez, was kind enough to let us film part of the work needed to do this conversion. Express Body Shop will be doing the paint job. I know you guys are going to be wondering why if I have painted cars before on the channel, but since this will be the final transformation of the VR4, I want the paint job to be done by a professional shop. It's interesting to see here that in the 99, the holes for the previous version of the sail panels are still there. They were just covered by decals and Mitsubishi called it a day. Even over a 10-year production span, these cars are very similar and have a lot of interchangeable parts, which is convenient for owners who like to change them up. You can see me here installing the sail panels from a 91 on a 99 and they fit perfectly. Me and my brother moved on to removing the headlights, corner lights, and front bumper, which is held on by like a million bolts. We removed the fenders and crash bar to be able to start removing the radiator support. With the fender removed, we had access to the door hinge bolts, so we went ahead and removed the damaged door too. A while back I had already picked up a replacement door. You can really see here why I needed a truck. My poor Eclipse working hard like always. Here it is with its new door looking mint. Moving on to the most crucial part of converting a first gen to a second gen is the headlight buckets. The first gen doesn't have the bolt holes to install the second gen headlights. I've been running a temporary setup on the VR4, but we're finally going to do a proper conversion. This requires transplanting the entire radiator support from the SOHC to the VR4. It's actually not as difficult as it sounds, we just have to drill out the weld spots. Here I'm using a punch to create an indentation for the drill bit to follow. Otherwise it just dances around all over the place. I'm using this drill bit that does not penetrate through the bottom layer of the metal. That way we have surface area to weld the new radiator support to. The downside to this method is that sometimes it doesn't remove the weld completely, and when you pull the radiator support to remove it, you may bend it out of shape. Here it is with its radiator support removed. And I think I've been watching Roadkill too much because it makes me want to go off-roading with it. Marked in pink are the spots that need to be drilled out in order to remove the radiator support. I did this for you guys in case anybody else is looking to do this conversion. That way you don't have to figure out which are the spots required. We finally start removing everything off the VR4. Headlights, corner lights, bumper, even the wheels, so we could get to some of the fender bolts. We had to remove the side skirt to be able to remove the fender. It was really on there because I had used double-sided tape on it. I then decided to modify the side skirt from the bottom to where the fender could clear without removing the side skirt. It went great and it saved us a lot of time. I changed my technique for drilling out the weld spot on this one. I was now using a step drill bit and it was so much faster and easier that I could even use my cordless. Everything was going smoothly up until this point, and then I noticed the radiator support wasn't budging at all, even after removing most of the weld spots. And it turns out that this radiator support had probably been replaced or fixed before because it was not held on by just the weld spots like on the SOHC, but by welds underneath it that were much more difficult to access and remove. I wanted to cleanly remove the radiator support, but it was just not happening. So at this point, it was hammer time. This turned out to be the most difficult and time-consuming part of this conversion so far, and it was only because it had been rewelded. We removed the one from the SOHC pretty fast compared to this one. was finally out. The frame got pretty roughened up from the removal process, but Express Body Shop should be able to fix that no problem. And now we just mocked up the new radiator support from the 99. Express Body Shop will be measuring and welding this on. Since we left the SOHC without a radiator support and destroyed the one from the VR4, I went to the local junkyard to pick one up, and I was lucky enough to find one. I was really surprised I actually found one. We then proceeded to remove the spoiler, which was held on by just double-sided tape and a glue called Amazing Goop. My dad was actually the one that showed me just how good Amazing Goop is. I had already seen it in action before, that is why there was no doubt in my mind that it was going to be enough to hold these spoiler pieces in place. And sure enough, 3 years and countless of 140 mph pulls later, it's still holding strong. Too strong actually, we had quite a hard time pulling it off. I had to insert a blade and cut the glue little by little to be able to remove it. Ever since I did the conversion from a 91 to a 98 about 3 years ago, I already knew I was eventually gonna do a 99 conversion. That is why I didn't want to drill the holes to install the spoiler, and that's why I didn't bother painting underneath it. And that is going to be the end of this video, guys. Transformation number 4 part 1. If you like this video, make sure you're subscribed so you can be notified when part 2 comes out. And if you didn't like it, subscribe anyway, it's free.